Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria, and today we are going to be talking about some of my favorite series that are on Kindle Unlimited. So if you don't know, Kindle Unlimited is a platform where you pay a monthly fee of, I think it's $14.99 or $9.99, something between that, and you are able to download as many books from the Kindle Unlimited category as you want, and read them per month. You can have, I believe, 20 downloaded to your, I just kicked my camera. You can have, I believe, 20 downloaded to your Kindle at a time, but you can always return and download more, and so you can read as many as you want from the category during the month. And I have this subscription service and I use it all of the time, not only to read the ebooks on my Kindle, but also to get whisper synced audiobooks at a discounted price when you have the ebook in your Kindle library. But I am going to go through and recommend a few of my all-time favorite series that you can download and read on Kindle Unlimited. So the first one that I have is very exciting because when I read this, it actually wasn't on Kindle Unlimited, but it is now, and that is the Eden series by Devney Perry. Devney Perry's books originally were not in Kindle Unlimited, only her Will and Nash books were, but recently she has added all of her books to Kindle Unlimited and has said that they will stay in Kindle Unlimited, so it's not for a limited time, and that the rest of the Eden series as it comes out will continue to be placed in Kindle Unlimited, which is awesome. So the Eden series is a small town series that has some suspense elements that follows a family called the Edens that live in this town in Montana, and their family actually founded the town. It's very like, they're like the royalty of the town. And there are, I believe, 5 siblings, and each book follows a different sibling. There are only 3 books out so far, but I've absolutely loved all of them, and I'm very excited for the next one, which comes out, I believe, in the beginning of January or the middle of January, something like that. So the 3 books that are out so far are Indigo Ridge, Juniper Hill, and Garnet Flats, and I gave both Juniper Hill and Garnet Flats 5 stars, and I gave Indigo Ridge 4 or 4.5 stars. So I very much have absolutely loved this series and would very highly recommend it, especially if you love like some elements of suspense in your romance, because Indigo Ridge definitely has a suspense element to it. The next one that I have is the Necessary Evil series by Onley James. This is a very different vibe of the Eden series, but this one is a series that follows, again, a family of different brothers or adopted brothers who are all psychopaths. So there is this eccentric billionaire who is a psychologist, and he is running an experiment, and so he adopted a whole bunch of children who had psychopathic tendencies and raised them to be serial killers that only killed bad guys. And so the series, the Necessary Evil series, each follows a different child who he adopted, who is now an adult, as they find their love interest. And so they are serial killers, but they are like sweetheart serial killers. It's very odd, and like a very like mind warp when you read them, because you're like, I was talking to somebody about them and I was like, oh, they're not dark, but they are. They're serial killers and they talk about really dark elements, but the actual characters themselves are not dark at all. They're very like almost like lovable and fun serial killers, which sounds crazy. But the whole series is very, very good. I unfortunately did not love the first one, so if you read and you don't love the first one, I would very highly recommend continuing, because I have, while I didn't like the first one, I have given the rest of the books, like, almost all of them 5 stars. There have been like 2 4 stars, and then I think there were 3 5 stars. So I very highly would recommend the rest of the series. I think it's fantastic. It is not over yet. There is 1 book left, which I believe is called Manic, that comes out in next year, the beginning of next year. But it's a great series and I absolutely loved them and they're fantastic. The next one that I have is another small town romance series, and that is The Bailey Brothers by Claire Kingsley. So this series follows a group of brothers who all live in Tillicum, which is this small town in, I believe, Washington. And this is, each book follows them getting their romance. So there are, I believe, 5 books. And I have only read 3 of the books in this series, but I still will call it my... No, I've read 4 of the books in this series, but I still believe it's one of my favorite series. Each brother is so good and have such a different personality, but they all meld together so well. It has that great small town element where it's just absolutely hilarious, where everyone's in your business and just like knows everything about you. And it's just a really, really great. The Bailey brothers themselves are hilarious and adorable and grumpy and just so good. This series also is just absolutely ridiculous because Tillicum, like I said, it has that crazy small town vibes, but it also has a feud. So the Baileys, the Baileys are in a huge feud, like generations long feud with the Haven brothers. And the Haven family, hates the Baileys and the Baileys hate the Havens, and it has taken over the town. So like in this small town, there are 2 diners, there are 2 bars, there are 2 delis, because you have to pick a side. And so if you go into a deli that's like Bailey territory, then you can't support the Havens, kind of thing. So like the whole town participates in this feud, and I just think that that's hilarious and just so small town and just ridiculous. The next one is also follows brothers. It's also a series that follows brothers, and that is The Harris Brothers by Amy Dawes. I believe the original series of The Harris Brothers, there are only 4 brothers, but there are 5 books because Gareth, the oldest brother, has a duet for his books. But there are extended books in the Harris Brothers series that follow like members of their soccer team and who are like family friends. So the actual extended Harris Brothers series, I think, is like 10 books, and then you have a Harris sister book. And this one follows the Harris brothers, who are all professional soccer players, and they take place in England, so it's actually called football in England. But they're all professional soccer players, and they each find their own romance, and each book has different tropes and everything. So the first book is a doctor-patient romance. The second one is enemies to lovers with a playboy. Third one is friends to lovers with a surprise pregnancy. You know, each one follows different things. The fourth one is a male submissive. So they all have very different elements, but they all have just the absolute best humor, lovable family vibes, absolute amazing like found family aspect too, because all of their like friends and stuff get very much brought into the Harris family, and they're just so cute and fun. Very highly would recommend this series. It's one of my all-time favorites, and if you're gonna read it, I would highly recommend the audiobooks, because Amy Dawes' audiobooks are all in duet, and because they take place in England, they all have accents, and it's great. But it is an absolute favorite series of mine, and I'm so sad that it's over because there are so many other characters that I wish would get books. So Amy, if you somehow are watching this, please write more Harris Brothers books because I love them. Next one is one that doesn't actually follow a family, so that's different. And that is the Salacious Players Club series by Sarah Kate. This one is actually follows 4 members who are the owners of the Salacious Players Club. They're the 4 co-owners of the Salacious Players Club, and each one of them is a different kink. So the Salacious Players Club is a kink club for adult kink club, where you can go and like explore your kinks in like a safe and like respected manner. So like you're not like shamed for whatever kink you have, but you can do it in like a safe and like easy way. And so the 4 owners each have their own book. So the first one is called Praise. It is his son's ex-girlfriend. And so it is a dominant submissive romance. And I think all of them are age gap. No, not all of them. 3 of them are age gap. Book 2 is a step-sibling romance. It's my least favorite in the series, but it's also age gap and step-sibling. The third one is a MMF romance, and the fourth one, which is my favorite in the series, is a dominant older woman with a bratty younger man. And it's fantastic. The whole series is so good. Sarah Kate's books, this series, were actually just picked up by a publisher, and they said that they were going to add 2 more books to the series, so that's very exciting. I'm really excited about that. Can't wait to read those ones in the series, but would very highly recommend this, especially if you're looking for something a little bit on the like more adult, naughtier side, steamier side of romance, because they're really good. Another one that is has great steamy scenes in it is the Campus Tales series. I've actually only read the first 2 books in this series. There is a third one I haven't read yet, but it's First Semester and Second Semester by QB Tyler are the ones that I've read. The third book is I think called Spring Semester, which I have not read yet, but I loved the first 2 in the series. These are novellas. They're both age gap novellas. They're like 200 pages each, I think. The first one is a student-teacher romance, and the second one is a dad's best friend romance. But I swear the smut in these books, fire, amazing. Honestly, I'm gonna have to read more QB Tyler just because of her spicy scenes that are in these books, because if all of her spicy scenes are like that, I'm gonna need to read all of QB Tyler's books. Another series is the Ward Sisters series. This is a series I've mentioned quite a bit on my channel because I really do love it. This is Carla Sorensen. So the Ward Sisters are 4 sisters who each get their own book, and they were actually raised by their older half-brother. Their father passed away and their mother abandoned them, and they each get their own books. They're all sports romances. So the first one is football. The second one is snowboarding, or like winter sports. The third one is soccer, and the fourth one is MMA, or fighting romance. And they're fantastic. Very highly would recommend. My favorite in the series is Forbidden, which is book 4. It's a single dad romance where he is a ex-MMA fighter, and she works at the gym that he owns, and it's amazing. So would highly recommend them. That's another series that was not on KU when I read the series. Next one is the All In series by Helena Hunting. This series is interesting because this one on Kindle Unlimited is available for Kindle Read and Listen. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can listen to the audiobooks of this series within your subscription, which is amazing. That is how I read these. And this is the series that comes after like the Pucked series. And if you don't like the Pucked series, I would recommend if you want to give Helena Hunting another try, I would recommend this series. I actually like it better, so much better than the Pucked series. I think that her writing grew a lot from the Pucked series, and that these 3 books are like much better written and more interesting than her Pucked series. But they're also hockey romances. Each one is a hockey romance, and again, they all follow members of the same hockey team, professional hockey team, and they all have different tropes in them. Then the last series that I'm going to recommend is the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. This series is absolutely fantastic. I read, I think, all of them this year. Did I read all of them this year? Yeah. And that it is a mafia romance series that follows members of the Italian and also Irish, and I think there's the Russian in there too, mafias. And it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. If you're looking for like an introduction to mafia, I would highly recommend this series because it does, the first couple books do give you a lot of like insight into like the lightness, into like a lighter side of mafia, and they do get a little bit darker as they go along, but over the whole series, like, they don't get overly intense into the actual like mafia side of things. So if you want something that's like a nice start to mafia, would highly recommend the Brutal Birthright series. But they're all really, really great, and I absolutely love the whole series, and I am so glad that I started reading them this year. I really want to read the Kingmaker series that comes next after this because it follows the children of the Brutal Birthright series, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But it is also on KU, so... But that was the last one that I had, so that was all of the series that I was going to recommend. So I hope that you can find one that you enjoy. But that is going to be it for this video, so please like it if you liked it and subscribe so you can see more content from me, and let me know down in the comments below if you've read any of these series, which ones you're excited to read if you haven't read any of them yet, and also if you have any other recommendations for books in series on KU, because I would love to hear about it. But that's going to be it, so I hope you have a great day. Bye!